So far, we have learned all basic and very important things about building a Gradio application. So in this section, we are going to learn how to enhance or improve your existing Gradio application that looks better, that does better, it has better user experience. And to start with, we are going to talk about examples in Gradio application. So what is examples? For example, if you have a Gradio application that looks like this, sometimes the user might get confused. What do I have to give here? What do I have to do here? What do I have to do here? And to avoid this confusion, usually in user experience, if you see a lot of existing tools, like I can quickly show you a tool that I came across recently, which is called shell.how. When you go here, it's still loading. But when you see this thing, you can see there are suggested commands. So these are like examples. So instead of somebody trying to figure out what to type here, a good user experience would always be very intuitive, where people can just click it and then select it. In a very similar user experience principle, Gradio also has got something called examples, and I'm going to show you how to do examples in this section right now. So let's start with example, and example is quite easy. What do you want to do with example? For all the input, you are going to give an example value. So I'm going to come here and then say, after outputs, I'm going to say examples. Okay, and here I'm going to select what all examples I'm going to give there. Like the examples are nothing but predefined answers. So I'm going to have a list, and within that I'm going to have another one, and the first one is, let's say, one little coder name, and then the second one is, let's say, 100, and then the third one is, let's say, 50, and then the fourth one is true. Okay, so this is one example. The next one I'm going to copy, let's say Mars 120, 30, 20, yeah. And third example, like we'll stick to 3 examples. Let's say moon, and then 200, or maybe we can use even moon. And the third one, 50 kilos, and then false. So we have 3 examples. Now when we run this application, oh, invalid syntax, because we didn't add the comma there, that's why it's invalid syntax. When we launch this application, at this point you would see this application being launched with examples. So you can see there are 3 examples. So when you have a Gradio application that looks like this, if you don't know, like, let me even open this Gradio application separately so that it's easier for us to see. So when we have this Gradio application, it might be difficult at first for somebody to know what to fill. So what they can do is, we have examples. All they have to do is click this application and then submit, then they'll get the output. Click this example, click submit, and then get the output. So it becomes very easy for anybody to click something and then get an output rather than themselves typing something. So this is very important for a very intuitive user experience, and thanks to Gradio for offering this, because this is what a lot of good web applications, especially to give intuitive user interface, does. So whatever the type is, like if you have an image, you can give image as an example. If you have tabular data, just like us, like not tabular data necessarily, but text and numerical data and Boolean values, you can have this. So for whatever type of data that you have, you can specify examples very simply just by defining another parameter here that takes different lists. Like you have multiple lists, multiple examples. You don't want to also give like 10-20 different examples. Example should be like 1 or 2. In this case, we have taken 3 examples. So example is a very important way for us to improve the user experience of the Gradio application. So that is one important thing. So you need to know when to use example and how to use example, and that's what you just learned. The second thing is, what if you don't want to click submit all the time? What if you want it to be reactive? So if you have seen Streamlit, if you have seen RShiny, or if you have seen even Tableau, like there are a couple of instances where you can select an option and then suddenly it is reactive. So suddenly you would see the output rather than somebody going and clicking. And for that, within this, like within the Gradio interface, you have an argument called live. If you say live is equal to true, currently by default live is equal to false. If you say live is equal to true, then you don't have to submit every time, and that's what we're going to see now. I'm going to disable the example. Okay, let me keep the examples and say live is equal to true, right? And then let's run it, and let's run it again. Is it going to restart? I'm not sure. but that's okay. So I have this thing here, right? I have this thing here, but you can see that there is no submit button at this point. So submit button is gone because it's live. So all I have to do is I can go here and then select it, and then you can see the output. I have to go here and let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, all I have to do is go here, select it, you can see the output. I can go here, select it, you can see the output. Select it, you can see the output. So basically you are eliminating one extra step. So this is useful in some situations, not in some situations. For example, if you have a situation where a model inference takes a lot of time, then you wouldn't want this to happen, because if somebody like by mistake clicks something, still it would start processing. So you would want that explicit submit button in those kind of cases. In cases where you, like for example this case, right, we don't necessarily want somebody to click submit. In cases like this, you can, like for example, you change the slider, it would change. So in cases like this makes sense, but in some other cases it may not make sense. But live Gradio application is another useful feature, because it again improves user experience, where a explicit submit action button action is not required. So if you think an explicit action like submit is not required, then you can then you can actually have then you can actually have this thing in place, which is live application. So the next way to improve user experience is, we discussed in the previous section about flagging. So flagging can also have multiple options. For example, instead of just simple flagging, we can say flagging options equal to, so we can say yes, no, maybe, something like that. Okay, and then run it, and now when you run this thing, you can actually see flagging options. So you, instead of, like for example, let me click this thing, and you have 3 flagging options. All you have to do is hover your mouse on it, you have 3 flagging options. So yes, no, maybe, and these values might also get recorded. So flagging, again, instead of keeping a simple flagging, for example, let's say you want to build a text annotation, some like simple annotation tool. So now all they have to do is, like, you can have all your entities here, and then you can ask somebody to annotate. So as simple as that, even if you have image or whatever that is, or maybe like a prediction is right or wrong or not right. So you can again use this to actually do unit testing and flag not only when something is wrong, but also you can use this to kind of label things on the go while you're building your machine learning model. Again, flagging options is extremely helpful, because you can use it for something more than what flagging is supposed to do. So flagging is very, very helpful. So far we have seen examples, so far we have seen live application, and also we have seen different options in flagging. The final thing that I wanted to highlight here, which I'm not going to show you right now, is using a state. So what is a state? Let me quickly show you state here. So, Gradio getting started. I'm going to copy the example from Gradio page. So what is a state? So one thing that you know very clearly is that every time you click submit in your Gradio application, the entire app resets. I think that's something that we all can agree. There is no persistence of data here. So anytime you submit something, the data is reset. What if you want to have persistence of data? What if you want to use a data point or a data from the previous before submitting to the next instance? And that's where state comes into picture. And state is quite common again in full stack development. So if you want to create a state that persists outside of a single function call, which means you need a global variable, right? So you need something that is outside this function, like outside the function that you have, this function. If you have a use case like that, then you need to set state. And chat message is a typical example, right? Why chat message is a typical example? Somebody sends hello, and then you reply hello, and somebody sends how are you? You're going to say I'm fine. Now in the application, you want all these messages to be in there. You don't want every time to initialize with empty message, because you want the previous data to be there. And that is where state is quite helpful, because you want the data to persist across multiple submits. Okay, so let's look at this demo quickly, and then we can see how it works. So quickly see the demo of state. I'm running this thing, and again, like I said before, this is an example straight out of Gradio documentation. So message is hello, and then I'm going to submit it. You can say hello, don't know. So it says the next message is how are you, and then I can see how are you. Okay, so you can see the response. You can see the response here, right? So, and this is important because you want the message to persist as well. So that's why state is very important, and you can refer Gradio doc. I'm not getting deep into it because that is again a topic for a separate section altogether. So to avoid that, I'm just saying that you can go to the get started page in Gradio. Also you can check in the documentation about state. So this is what the purpose of state is, to have something beyond the function, like to create like a global variable outside the function call, so that even when you load this thing, there is persistence. And the very best use case that you can think of is you want to load a large model, and every time you want to load the model, you don't want it to be refreshed. If you have the model being loaded inside this, you don't want it to get refreshed all the time. So you want to load the model outside the function, and then inside the function you do everything else like inference, right? So that is a very good use case, and states could be used there. So explore state more, and that could be really, really helpful for you in improving your Gradio application. So if you need a variable that should be persistent outside the function call, then set state is the function that you should set state, and get state is the function that you should be looking at to store and retrieve the persistent data that you have created. So that is state. And the final, this is state done. So we have seen examples, we have seen live Gradio, and we have seen state. And the very final thing that I want to talk about improving your Gradio application is Gradio themes and Gradio CSS. So Gradio application, by default you would see something that looks like this. I'm going to remove the flagging options. I'm going to remove the description. I'm going to even remove the live option. Okay, so by default you would see the Gradio application that looks orangish, which is in line with the Gradio color. But sometimes you want something else, right? So sometimes you want to try something else, like you want a different color combination, you want a different theme. So Gradio has two options for that for you. One, Gradio has got theme, so quickly showing theme. So you have the default option, you have Hugging Face option, you have Grass option, Peach option, Dark option. So you have got different themes. The second one is, rather than using the existing theme, the theme that is available on all these themes, you yourself can actually create custom CSS. So you can use custom CSS option to create theme. And that is again another important feature if you want to try out something. So we're going to explore these two options now. So theme and custom CSS. First, let's start with theme. So I have a Gradio application that looks like this, and maybe you know what, I can do side by side. Oh, it doesn't let me do side by side. Okay, I thought I can just show it side by side. It doesn't allow me to do that view. That's okay. So first thing that I want to do is I want to enable a theme. Okay, so theme is equal to, what is the theme name? Let's start with the Hugging Face, and then we'll go to some dark theme. When I run this thing and run this, you would see the theme color changing. You can see now the theme has changed. Like this is the Hugging Face theme, right? So it's cleaner, means I would at least say like it's cleaner if you want. No offense to existing default Gradio theme, but yeah, it's cleaner. If you want a different theme, let's say like you want a dark theme, then you can just go like dark peach or dark default. Maybe we can do dark Hugging Face. Let's try how it looks. Dark. Okay, run this and run this, and then see how does it look. Oh, this is quite nice. This is again a very pleasant dark theme. So you can see the font is white in color. You select something, you submit something, you have everything in white in color. So this way you can play around with the theme, right? Hugging Face theme. Let us say you have played around with this thing, but there is one thing that you don't like necessarily, and you want to change that, and that's where your CSS is going to help. So one thing that you can do with CSS is you can, for example, let's say you want to change the background color to something. So I can go here, say CSS is equal to, and then I can add the CSS. I'm going to use multi-lines just to keep it easy for me, and then I'm going to say background color is gray. Okay, let's run this, and then you would see the change in the color. Ideally it didn't change. Okay, let me disable the theme and then see. You can see after I disable the theme, because the theme overrides the CSS, so after you disable the theme you can see the color of the background has changed. Like if you want, let's say, like a different color altogether, let's say you want let's say yellow, maybe terrible option, but again just for demo purposes, if you want a background color to be yellow in color, you can again change it.